So Karen, I was talking to Karen last night. She called, and then she brings up this picture of this. Well, she starts talking about this little girl, and some lady like reached out to her, and the little girl was telling her mother all these stories about how she's from the moon, and she like stepped into a portal by accident and ended up on Earth, and that she's like from an ET family, and like detailed too, like the names of the family and everything. And
was that the picture you sent me?
Yeah, and the story was very similar to, so she first told me that she had like seizure like movements and passed out in her bed, and I was like, well, that sounded like my experience. And so it was just really synchronistic that was the first thing Karen told me, and I was like, okay, well, I'll look into her. And she sent across the picture, and I tuned into her. But like as I was tuning in, I forgot to cloak myself for one, and like towards the end I felt so drained, like something had hooked into my field.
Yeah, I got a confirmation on that.
Yeah, and then Karen actually ended up falling asleep, so like it was like her higher self just like shut her down, so like for protection. Mine kept going. But
like, were you on the phone with Karen when she fell asleep?
No, we were just messaging back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked to her earlier, and we were talking about it, and then she sent the picture across. And I had to like clear my energy after with my rattle, and that helped. But yeah, it's just been like what the heck is up with that?
I felt darkness as soon as I looked at her picture.
Yeah,
so,
and her
mother, I just got a huge hit as I said that. Just another confirmation.
Yeah, like possession of some sort. But I was like, the thing is, I only did an energy scan, and all I picked up was throat. She had something around her throat, resistance, and then solar
when you
plexus.
Just said possession, which is what I got last night too when I looked at the picture. But when you just said that, I just got like a huge full body hit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was heavy. like I don't want to focus on this. Like even thinking about it, I'm like, I feel my energy like drawing.
We'll call your energy back.
Yeah. But it's, and then I took a nap earlier, which is a 20-minute nap, and I woke up with again like tension in my jaw, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, is there something around me? Who? Fuckers.
Yeah, they're something did get to you last night, and they're sucking your energy.
Yeah,
they don't want you doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
so just command it away.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Tell it to fuck off.
Yeah, fuck off.
Fuck off.
Get the hell out of here. You're not allowed my space.
Have permission. Yeah.
Oh, I went to the beach and I felt better, but then as soon as I came back to the house, I was just like,
you need to cleanse your room.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. God, it's just nonstop. Like it's like constantly.
When you're a warrior like you are, they're after you.
Yeah, but it's just, I really have to, you can't ever really let your guard down. It's like, whatever, it was good training, I guess, and just a really strong reminder to use cloaking. And I just I'm not really, that kind of work, I'm not ready to do that kind of work. Like, it's kind of a distraction. Like,
I remember when I was, one of my friends wasn't feeling well back in September, okay? And so I was like, well, I've been told that I can help people heal, so do you want me to see if I can help you? And she was like, well, sure. I said, okay. So I had a few minutes when put Devin down for a nap, and I took some time and I tuned into her and I did some clearing and stuff, and I could feel it working and everything like that. And then I ended up with and I don't know for sure if it was strep throat because I didn't go to the doctor, but
Yeah.
some sort of throat issue. And it was like literally like within hours of me doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And there really wasn't a reason for me to get it any other way.
Mm-hmm.
No one else had it around me. So I don't know where I got it from. It was just after I did that with her, but I didn't know, or I forgot to do the like through me, not in me.
Yeah.
So I took on whatever part of, that was getting into her. And yeah, it was, so I'm very like, when I was removing your etheric implants the other day, I'm like, through me, not in 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 me.
Yeah, right.
I'm very, very clear about that now. So
oh my gosh. Yeah, it's like as we get more sensitive to these things, it's like, holy, like you really have to do these protocols.
Yeah.
Like when I was tuning into the mother and picked up all her heart stuff, it's like I was her. Like I could feel everything in my body. And obviously I took it on. I took some of it on.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just so, yeah, it was like, I was in such a high frequency, like before Karen called, and it was just like towards the end, I was just like, oh my God. It'd just be like I went to war.
Yeah. Well, so do your emotion code clear those trapped emotions that you absorbed from her?
Yeah. It's a good, yeah, I think I did clear a lot of it. Just from what I did earlier, but yeah, I can feel something around me. There's something.
Yeah, there's something there.
Yeah, okay, I'll get that figured out. This was through a channeling with Ishkla, that other being I was connecting with. And I really don't know, I connected her, she was like a guardian of the ship, but then I kind of started having doubts about her, and I was like, I don't know. I believe Auntie, but I don't know about this woman that I was connecting to, but she's from Inner Earth. So I have kind of stopped talking to her, but so she did give me some good information. And she said, okay, so she said, training ourselves to shift brainwave states on a dime basically override all lower harmful frequencies. Our free will commands cells to shift resonance like a muscle. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. As you shift densities, so as like we get used to shifting into higher states, you become more sensitive to brainwave states. And with practice on command, you can tune frequency organically, even around the harshest frequency weaponry. You are powerful beings. The organic always overrides the synthetic. The only way they control is through the abnegation, the forgetting, disconnect to these abilities. If you do not control your own brainwave frequency tunings, they will do it for you. Start to practice with this and notice the subtleties and shifts.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
And then she says, at night before bed, you're more vulnerable. Important to set intention, command, brainwave to remain in a specific brainwave state. You can use music tools to assist. She said, crown activations, openings of channels, even more higher sensitivities to frequency, necessary to be more in control. Take the reins. Operating this ship, important to have these abilities well developed. And this is connected to the body attunements that Auntie kept talking about. And she's like, keep working at it, you're doing great. So in the past 2 weeks, I've noticed too, like my brainwaves, it's just like I know when I'm in like a more of a beta state, like super, like kind of getting anxious, like anxiety, and but it's like it's more emphasized now. Like they're like, if I'm not in the right state, then it like really affects me. Like, and it connects to like my whole nervous system.
Well, it's one of your gifts is the note that I just got.
Okay.
So, our gifts can kind of be a curse at times, but you're meant to be that sensitive.
Okay. Yeah, I think I have to be for the ship. Because the ship's like basically it's an organic extension of my field, and everything plugs into that. So if you're not fine-tuned to sensitivities or energies, like as it operates in higher densities, so like as we shift to higher densities, we become more and more sensitive, from what I understand. Like
that makes sense. And so you have to practice staying in that higher density and that really focused brainwave state with chaos and stuff going on around you, because you have to control the ship while other stuff is going on around you.
Oh, I got a hit on that. Yeah, that makes sense. I even have I wrote this a while ago, but it's like all the brainwave states and the hertz and everything.
Cool.
I have it all written out.
Theta is what you're in right when you're waking up and right when you're falling asleep, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's like deeply relaxed, inward focus, sleeping, channeling, meditation, astral projection. Well, it's like, and then imagine just training yourself to be in that state 24/7. So that's kind of what they're telling me to do. I was like, okay, let's try this out. In the middle of chaos, you're just like in such a tranquil, blissful state.
That can be quite a gift, though.
Yeah. Why do you think people smoke marijuana? That's what it does. It manipulates your brainwave. But like the plant's doing it, not you. Yeah.
If you can find some that isn't full of toxins.
I wouldn't smoke. Yeah, I wouldn't. No, my body's not hardwired for that. But I'm just, it's more like it's more of a crutch, instead of like we all have the capacity to command and train ourselves to shift on command, like our brainwaves. So just doing it naturally, not being dependent on anything else, like would be pretty badass, I think.
Totally.
Yeah. And I was also reading something else. So when I was going through, I want to see what you get from it, but Elena and Sala, they were talking about there being one of the arcs on Venus, and a group of Earth-based people, government, military, whatever, went and to this arc to like research it, like basically researching the spaceship tech. And when I was listening to that, I was getting that I was there like in the astral, like I just felt like that I was there with them. And that kind of goes along with what you're saying, that like you're already being trained, like you're already being taken off planet and being trained like now in the present moment. So like I just that was something I wrote a long time ago. But
I got I got a definite hit when you said like you're already being trained, so that's a confirmation for sure. And I just get another one as I say that, so double confirmation that you're already being trained. So but we knew that. So, and I don't know, I felt like almost not anxious, but like my heart started beating a little faster, and it was a little bit hard for me to breathe, like almost like waiting in anticipation when you were saying that, because I was like, I think it's an important thing, and I just got a hit on that. So that's something important that you need to look more into or study into or meditate on, or something important about that, what you just told me. And I'm getting hits as I'm saying this.
Yeah. So something to do with recommanding myself, because I think I was the one that contracted not to remember. So I think it's something to do with commanding myself to start like remembering, like to like to nullify that contract that I have with my higher self, to like start remembering. Does that make sense?
I'm getting a hit. Smaller hit, but still a hit.
Something
but
of that sort.
It was, yeah, I'm just being told that it's that mission that they went to Venus to do is important.
Okay.
Whatever that was, it's important.
That arc on Venus connects with the arcs that are here, all the other ones. So, yeah, and then
is that to do? It must be to do with the arc that Julie's been talking about on our calls, right?
The one in like the Bermuda Triangle, or which one?
Was it at the North Pole? I can't remember where she said it is.
Antarctica?
It had to do with the
I don't know. Spirit told me. I have a few pieces here that I just wanted to read to you because I think they're important. And then one's to do with the ramp of water that you saw.
Yeah.
The water. So we're basically a glass of water with a soul in it. Like we're pure water, and water is a medium. It's also a conductor of electricity, and it holds memory and consciousness. And the ocean, that's why they use the ocean so much, because the ocean is like water that's alive. It has a lot of consciousness, a lot of life force, a lot of electricity, plasma. So when you have living water, it can suspend a stone. It can suspend a stone, and it's magnetic. And kind of what I was getting was like the water, like, so what I wrote down was a bridge of water to the ship, water ramp to the ship. And I was like, bridging with water. And I was like, a bridge of water. So it's like, I'm supposed to use the water to get to the ship. That makes sense. Like,
yeah.
So I don't know if it's exactly going to look like this, but it's more like using the water. I think Spirit was trying to say like using the water to get to the ship. The laws of water will connect you to it. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, and it could be. I very vividly remember that water bridge, like that vision that I got in my mind of like it coming up, like, and then going in, and it just like I'm just still getting chills about it because, and it's just so vivid. And then like the whole, because what is it? Because I don't know the Bible. I don't know like anything about the Bible. But what is it about
so
walking
funny.
on water?
You're just
walking
saying
on water. Something about walking on water, and you needed to create the bridge of water and walk on water to get to the ship. So that's something to do. And I'm getting hits. Like it's something to do with walking on water, and you create the bridge.
So this is another thing I was going to mention. So funny you said that, because as I was writing more information about it, I put right here biblical passages. That's what Spirit was saying. Biblical passages. Yeshua working with water, working, shape shifting it, and then it came. So and then the resurrect word. They keep saying resurrect the ship, and I was like, and when I was talking to Auntie, I was like, well, why? What's up with the word resurrect? Did Yeshua resurrect a ship that when he was here? And he smiled and he nodded. So,
I totally am getting a huge hit right now.
And so it's so whether maybe he was working with the tablets and putting them in that arc that Julie was talking about in the North Pole, or I don't know, he was doing something with them, or maybe he had his own ship that he took off with.
I'm feeling own ship.
And then he went back to his home planet that way.
I don't know. I don't get anything.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I know this all ties back to that. And then it's so crazy because these advanced technologies, the other channelings I have, so this ship technology, it plugs into our heart space. And so you have to be within that, like you have to have a very strong feminine balance, feminine heart space.
Yeah,
kind of like Devin's energy, you have to be really balanced, open to receiving. They keep telling me open to receive the ship, you have to receive it. And receiving is the feminine aspect. And, they keep telling me that, this ties into like a lot of the pilots being female, but also like the Magdalene energies is part of it. And activating like our kundalini, the creative life force that comes up the spine that connects to the ship as well. So that's all part of it, those energy codes. So it ties back into her too. So she was helping Yeshua to do this. Yeah, I know she had a big part of it. Yeah. Anyways, I know I had a past life. I was like a sister of hers, or like a really close friend in that lifetime. Because I have visions of it. So like the mystery schools and working with like the mystery schools of Isis and like these energies, like our vessels, there's something about a feminine vessel that is like, we can access dimensional realms that a masculine vessel cannot access. Like,
I'm getting such huge hits right now.
Yeah.
Like, my eyes are all watering.
Yeah. So, yeah, something of that sort. And so like this ties into, a lot of things I'm being called to do right now. But
so I got a note for you to receive more love. You need to be open. You've closed off.
Right.
You need to open yourself up to receive love.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to work on.
I mean, aside from your views on certain things, I didn't even realize that you are closed off to love, but I just got the note.
Yeah, so. I think it's like old stuff, like not trusting. It's to do, and then like that's what they keep telling me is like you need to open to receive, because if you're not open to receive, which is the solar plexus heart area, that I can't merge myself with the ship.
Is it, you said solar plexus and heart area, is it those two chakras? Because is that why that etheric implant was right in between them? Because when I took that out of you and then I went through your chakras and opened them up, I got like hit when I opened your heart chakra, because like it was so powerful. Like, I felt like an impact of love. It was great.
Well, that's the Magdalene energies, like it's like higher dimensional stuff coming in, because it comes through that area. I think it's like a portal.
Well, I think you're open now, or at least you were when I did that. Because
I did feel a shift for sure. But I think the whole thing with not being open to receive is like me intentionally closing myself off. Yeah. So I'm not vulnerable. Like I'm not going to get hurt in that area.
Yeah.
It's connected to that.
But just remember that the hurt is the balance part of it, right? Like you can't experience the intensity of the possibility if you aren't open, right? So if you're closing yourself off, which I think we all do a little bit, if you're doing that, then you're missing the intense part, which I think that it's part of your training that you need to feel that. So whether it's intense hurt or intense love, so and it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
If you need to do that, don't bottle it up. But I know it sucks I know I have a heart wall. I have to deal with that. Maybe you have a heart wall too. I'm getting a yes. Yes, it does.
I was getting what came through about the hits and stuff is that you actually, before we reincarnate, you knew exactly what my contract is, like in detail. Like
I have a hit on that.
You're kind of like a mentor, guardian, or just to keep me on track. And I think vice versa. I know yours too. So yeah, because I get really frustrated when I see you get off track. I'm like, damn it, Julie. Damn it, Mom. Get back on track.
Hey, Yeah. You're going off the wrong direction.
And honestly, I'm going to be totally honest right now. When you like that, so we were going through a period where we weren't really talking much, which was like a month ago or so.
Yeah.
And that was the time I knew you were off track. And I was just like, I just bit my tongue. I was like, damn it, Julia, get back on track.
Don't bite your tongue with me. I don't want you to bite your tongue with me. I need you to let it loose.
But Auntie, well, I asked Auntie about it. I'm like, Mom is not on track. And Auntie's like, yes, don't worry, she'll get back on it.
Yeah, and I feel so much better.
Yeah,
but it just
you come back around.
I just have this thing where I help others, and I just put others before me, and I just need to start putting myself and what I want to do in my life.
Yeah. I was looking back at the notes, and Alex told me that the Andromedan colony that was here during Lemuria, they were studying the ecosystem because the Earth, so Uranus is loaded with aquatic animals, which a lot of people don't know, a lot. And he said that Earth, in our galaxy, which is vast, and it has like, I think 100 planets or something like that, only 8 planets have an ecosystem like Earth. So it's really unique, and life on it is beyond, like literally beyond diversity. So the Andromedans wanted to, you know, study and learn like how it's like so diverse, and that's why they were here. And so I know, it's funny, I chose parents who worked in ecology, like marine ecology. And so I grew up around that whole, like, you know, learning about ecosystems and all that stuff. And it's like, I was kind of getting messages that the ship, something to do with the ship, like using rife, like frequencies to rebalance or bring things back into balance, but also, yeah, it's almost like a continuation of that work. When they did come here like thousands and thousands of years ago. So yeah, I know that's going to be a part of it, some sort. Yeah.
I don't even know what rife is. You've told me once.
Oh, it's like using, like, for example, microbes. You can take the frequency of microbes and instill it into like an orgon pyramid, or just have it beaming out from something and put it in your garden, and then the plants respond to it like there's actually microbes there, and they'll like get super healthy and flourish, and like, because plants thrive off of microbes, and so you don't need the physical thing. So it's like, if there's anything that the cabal has taken out from our ecosystems that is no longer, like, we can't really access it much, we can still use the frequency of it to restore and rebalance the ecology of the planet.
It's so much like water, then, how you can say I love and respect you and appreciate you, and it's way better than if you say I hate you and all that.
Yeah, exactly. And I had that one dream where I woke up, and like, well, in the dream, like somebody was saying to me, it's 3 prongs, not 2.
Yeah,
prongs. And I was, when I was in Mount Shasta, I was with this Taiwanese guy who was like seeing a lot of stuff, and he was saying, because we were looking at the ships in the sky, and he was like, oh, that ship, it has like a little device that comes out the end of it that's like a pronged device, like a little, like, and then I connected to him, like, oh, that's what my dream meant, like there's a 3-pronged device on the ship, and I think that's what emits these frequencies. Something of that sort. Yeah.
I remember us having a conversation about this, but I don't remember what it ended up. But I remember thinking about Atlantis. Because I remember thinking about, like, well, the only thing I know about Atlantis really, which is like the movie The Little Mermaid, and King Triton with his.
Oh right, that was that Atlantis? Was it based in that time? Oh, that's
I think so.
Cool. Yeah, the Trident, right? Well, and then the Cabal hijacked that and inverted it. So I was getting visions of them inverting it and tapping into the spine of the child and taking out inverting the life force by using that same type of technology, but inverting it.
You know what I just got a note on?
What?
That U-shaped etheric implant I took out of your neck had the middle pin. So that was 3.
So they were sucking my life force.
And I'm just getting a hit right now. So 3 prongs.
Right.
Because that needle, it would hide. Like it wouldn't be in all the time. It would retract.
Right. So it was like harvesting moosh off me.
I think so. It would stick into you when they needed you to stop what you were doing.
Yes.
Stop what you were saying and stuff. So I don't know if they were taking loosh or what, but they were trying to stop you. So they were.
Yeah, that makes sense. When I was young, so when I was a kid, I remember, and actually all the way up until like a teenager, I would fall asleep all the time. Like, I'd be sitting in like the rocking chair and I'd be like in the middle of the day, and like I'd be in the car and I'd just pass out, or on the school bus, and I was always tired, like always. I was, and I thought it was maybe all the like carbs that my mom was feeding me. Maybe it was something else.
Well, I think that they've been using your energy, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. That makes sense. Yeah.
Because they had, I've taken 3 implants out of you. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. How do I restore that energy now?
Call it back to you. I'm telling you, the amount of energy I got yesterday, and I have been like, and I know to do this, I just forget, right? Like I've known about doing this for years to call my energy back to me. I've known about that, but I forget to do it. And I'll go like 6 or 8 months without doing it. And then all of a sudden I do it and I'm like, wee, like that's where I feel myself again, like I want to get stuff done and I'm motivated again. But the energies lately have just been like everyone that I know who's like in tune and sensitive like us, with abilities like us, we've all just been absolutely wiped out lately. No motivation, no energy. And I've totally been like that too. And then yesterday after doing that, I was like, all right, let's get some stuff done.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's probably why I liked surfing too, is that the surfing, I was harvesting that energy back to me. Like as I was in the ocean, I was like pulling it back in because I was like, otherwise couldn't function.
Yeah, and there's something, you're connected to the water because you have the ability to control it. I think, okay, so I'm getting a note that you're supposed to try and control the waves.
I just thought of that before you said it. You know what? I was always thinking that. I was like, because I think Kelly Slater can do that. Like, he's like one of the top surfers in the world. And I think he's more connected than he thinks. But because I used to compete, right? And I was just like, and I would always like have the worst luck with waves. Like that was one of my weaknesses, was like being in the right position. And I was always like, oh, if only I could call the waves to me. Like, and I kind of knew that was like, I could, like, that there was some truth to that people could do that. So
your doubt was manifesting.
Yeah, I had a huge doubt, and especially like with my growing up with my mother, right? She would be like, we were at an international surf competition in California, and I remember her saying to me like, yeah, you're not as good as these other girls, like kind of out of your league. Like she says shit like that all the time. So, you know, growing up with her wasn't easy.
Yeah.
And it was just a projection of her own, like, you know, insecurity.
Yeah. She was probably just perpetuating what was done to her.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. So, yeah. But okay, that's cool. Oh my God. Yeah. I have a feeling I'm going to be surfing really soon. I was in the water today and the waves were almost surfable. Like they were rolling in, and it's usually pretty flat here. And I was like, I can almost surf these waves.
Just be careful what you do to bring in waves when they're not supposed to be waves, because you're going to be affecting others.
Right. Well, it's interesting because another thing of my notes, okay, so there's something really important about, me and Huna were going through like ionic drives the other night. Ionic engines and how they function. And let me read this to you.
Okay. I don't know what that is, by the way.
Yeah, so it's basically a plasma propulsion engine. So the electrons, so basically you have like 4 states of matter. You have solid, liquid, gas, plasma, and it just like increases in energy. So like it goes in that order with increasing energy. And then so plasma happens, it's a high gas state, but the electrons are separated from the atoms and they are in a reactive state. So an ionic energy basically takes plasma and it filters out, it separates the positive electrons from the negative, and one goes out the other end. Like, so they separate and it creates a flow of air.
That must be really powerful.
Well, I think the ships operate off of this kind of stuff, like plasma. Like,
Elena
but isn't
talks about how the ships operate. Yeah.
I'm obsessed with plasma and the ocean and Telerik energy and what the heck goes on. And I'm like, there's a missing piece that I'm trying to figure out.
I just got a message that there's a lot of plasma in the ocean, and I don't know what that means, but like those little plasma little dots that we see on camera footage sometimes.
Yes.
There's tons of them in the ocean.
Would you say they're plasma beings, like plasma consciousness? And that's what I'll be communicating with? That's like what I connect with?
That is making sense to me, but like I said, I don't know anything about it, so I'm just passing the notes on.
Okay, so let me read you this.
Okay.
So the idea that wavelength stops and the energy of wave that travels start perhaps in solar winds between the sun and the earth. So the solar winds creates, what it does is, so solar winds could be photonic light energy. I think that's the same thing. Plasma and a photonic light, I think it's the same thing. I gotta look that up.
Just one sec. When you said the first sentence, are you talking about ocean waves or like?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, so it starts with the sun and solar storms, solar winds from the sun, solar winds between the sun and the earth. So it's like the relationship with the sun and the earth. That's the root of waves, ocean waves. And so that creates, what it does, it creates pressure above the hemispheres, because you have all this downward like energy coming in from the sun, plasma energy, and it's pushing down on our upper atmosphere, and that creates downward pressure. And this is kind of like how an ionic plasma drive works, like a ionic, like the engine I was talking about. And so this downward pressure creates fetch, which creates waves in the middle of the ocean. And then so you have this whole transference of energy from the sun to the ocean, and the waves, like as they come to the shore, everything, you know, the energy just gets amplified until it breaks on the land. And then so the idea that this energy just disappears once it hits the shore, obviously it doesn't. and so there's something with magnetics here too that affects it. And I'm trying to piece this all together. But so plasma is a very good ionized gas, which is what plasma is. It's a very good conductor of electricity and is affected by magnetic fields. So the magnetic field of the Earth is a factor in all of this as well. Mm-hmm. And then, so yeah, I know this is all really important, and it's like, I'm kind of obsessed with researching this right now. And then I woke up, it's connected to Telerik Energy. And this is why the Andromedans are so obsessed with ionized water on the ships. Like they have moving water everywhere. Oh. Because I think it feeds their light body.
See how you feel when you go around a fountain.
Yeah.
Or even an aquarium.
Oh yeah, amazing. Like moving water, I love. Like that's why I've always lived by the coast.
Mm-hmm. So I got a message pretty much right away when you started talking. As soon as you said at the beginning about the sun, the waves or whatever from the sun, the energy that's coming from the sun. So that's how you can control the waves.
Oh,
you call the energy, and I'm getting a hit right now. You call the energy from the sun.
Okay.
And you put it where you want it. And it will take you some time to figure out how to put it, because you have to do it in a certain way to create the wave that you want. And you can create different kinds of waves by putting the sun energy down into the water in different waves, which will create different waves. So that's the notes that I have for you.
Whoa, that's really cool.
So that's how you can control the water, is by controlling the energy from the sun.
Wow. And I know this ties into the ship technology.
And I'm getting hits as I'm saying this. So, and it was a note that I got right away, and it like just stayed there. And you like lots of times I forget things, but the really important stuff, they're like, no, we're going to make sure you remember to say this.
Well, it's funny because when I was talking to Alex, it's like the vision I had was like Spirit was almost telling me just to go in the ocean, sit on a surfboard, and channel plasma towards you. Something of that sort.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's part of my training. Great. I love doing that.
I think it would be like, because I do, like, I can just see an image of those little plasma beings. Mm-hmm. Like they're in the water.
Mm.
So,
yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure that you can, because you can go into higher dimensions. I know that you can.
Oh, yeah.
And just communicate with them and ask them to do things for you with the water. Mm-hmm. And just see what happens. Mm-hmm. Just experiment, have some fun.
Yeah, no, I think you're bang on, because when I was watching Gina, who has all the videos of plasma and ships and stuff, that lady on YouTube with the short blonde hair, the first video I came across where she talks about the plasma beings, I was just like, I know them. Like, I was just like, there was just the instant knowing. I'm like, I've worked with them before.
Yeah, I think they want to play.
Mm-hmm, cool. Okay, so, yay. That's so fun. I love it.
See if you go in, like if you go in to see the dolphins too, as I think there's some in there, and I think that they play.
I just got a hit on that. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the whales are totally connected to them. When they jump and play in the water, it's like, I feel like they're having fun with the plasma beings. Like when they like kick up their tail and they like jump, try to get really high. And they're doing something anyways. Yeah. 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 Because they're totally interdimensional. Like they got their full brain capacity. Like they're more evolved than us. Talking about the dolphins or the plasma beings? The dolphins. Yeah. Yeah, they have like, I mean, even just to comprehend what they do with their sonic
like wave communication and stuff like that. I mean, hello, like
I know, right?
Yeah, it's mind blowing what they can do.
So we were talking about the telepathic, like how it's like a tap dome on the head and it's more back and left. And so that validated like my communication with Auntie was spot on. And he was impressed that I could actually do that because, you know, talking to a higher dimensional being is that's like an advanced telepathic ability. Yeah. And then he said, when they communicate, they give you everything. So like, that's what I was saying with like, there's a cord, like an energy cord, and he's holographically downloading stuff into me, whether I'm like, you know, consciously grasping it or not. It's going to come sooner or later to my consciousness, you know? So he said that they are preparing you for something in the future. And then he just kind of joked. He's like, make sure you read the contract before you extend your life here. Because Alex he doesn't want to be here really. So she's like, make sure you read the contract.
Before you do what?
Just make sure you know what your contract is with them before you choose to extend it. But
extend it. Okay.
Yeah, but it was kind of a joke. Like, I want to be here, so it's not a big deal. But for him, oh man, I have so much respect for him because like he's had to cleared plowed the road ahead for all of us, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and that's not an easy job. Like, man, the amount of shit he had to deal with, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
You know? Like, so he's done us a huge favor by like, yeah, doing the work he did.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's amazing. It's like the grandfather of all this. And then
we need to get on that.
Yeah, he's so heart-centered. And then he goes, when you fully become telepathic, you are going to hear a lot of people. So when he goes up on the ship and then he comes back, he's wide open. So he walks down the street and he picks up everything, people's thoughts and everything. Yeah. So he's a time in the future, they are going to ask you to do some speaking. And I got a hit when he said that. And then he's like, you are on your path and you don't need permission. You know what you know. And then, yeah, he also mentioned to remind me, you have other guides. You need to acknowledge them and ask them to help you with something. So you might as well put them to work. And then, yeah, he gave me
I got a note that the one that you aren't fully trusting is one of those guides that you need to start putting to work more.
Ishkla. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. All right, well, I'll trust her. And then he talks about like just dealing with people. He's like, when dealing with people, be genuine. Even when you are tired and don't want to talk to anyone, like always be genuine and humble and, you know, never, obviously don't place yourself above others. Like, you know, because people can, you know, once they become in the spotlight, they can have a tendency to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he said, he's like, the stronger the telepathic connection gets, so he's referring to my connection with Auntie, it's like, it becomes like Zoom with no wires. So I can start seeing him doing stuff and things like that. And
that's like how Elena talks about Thorhan and how she can see what he sees.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And I've kind of tuned in to a little bit of I could see it, like, it's still a bit blurry, but I can see a little bit sometimes what he's doing. But yeah, I can't wait for that to get more refined.
So do you see out his eyes? Do you see what he sees, or do you see him like you and I are doing?
Out his eyes, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, more out his eyes. Like one time I was talking to him and he was like building something or like doing like constructing some little thing. I don't know what it was, but he was like, yeah.
So cool.
And then, yeah, that was like, yeah, the main thing that he was speaking of. But yeah, he knows so much. Yeah, I'm so grateful for you.
Likewise. Oh, I get so much more the more you and I are in touch.
Yeah, me too. It goes both ways. And I think that's like, we're here to do that for each other. So
Yeah.
very cool.
All right. Well, I love you. This has been fun, and I'm really excited for all you're doing. And let me know how the water stuff goes.
Oh my gosh, you brought so much clarity to me. Like, yeah, thank you. I love our sessions.
Me too. And I just have a feeling that one day I'm going to see that water bridge. I really do. That vision is way too clear for it to be an analogy. As I'm getting hits, as I say that.
Whenever I think of that, I just get Yeshua. Like I get Jesus. I don't know why.
And I totally get, and I get a hit, but as you say that, but like I got that day when that first came to me, like walking on water. You have to walk on water to get to the ship.
Another thing, you know how he washes people's feet? He does something with the water. I don't know what it is, but that
I have no idea, but I'm getting a big hit right now.
Something with the feet washing. It's not about like, you know, people say that he does that to bring himself down to the same level, but there's something magical that he does when, like, there's something about that.
So there's something about the water and the stuff that you're learning right now that ties in with that, is the message I get for you. But I got a big hit when you said something about washing the feet. So write that down.